Your dad's a major part of this story, as we said, and it gets to an arm wrestling match against Conan, and it leads to your dad getting whipped. You talked about it being cool to be in the moment with your dad,
Yeah.
but then what's it like when your dad's in the storyline on the downside of a leather strap?
Yeah. So actually what that was like 3 tennis balls in a black sock, and it was what Conan used to, like, waffle people with, but it goes back to the old putting the locks or a Coke can in a sock or whatever, that kinda thing. But so I knew he would be safe, but man, it is my 66-year-old father who is
Let's run a clip of him while we're
Yeah,
talking.
yeah, please do, and if you're,
We could probably bring the volume down a little bit on
yeah,
that.
yeah, and Tanay does a great job of putting him over. Says that's the 66-year-old father of BG James, and so Dad was still at 66. He's still jacked. You know what I mean? And here I am, 52, fat as. I look like a can of tuna in a tube sock, but he's in great shape. And if you're not on YouTube, go seek this because this is old school wrestling at its best, the old arm wrestling match, and they work it great. At one point, you'll see that Conan, and look, they milk it too. Like, you guys get out of the ring. Now you guys get out of the ring. Now who's gonna, and then Conan milks it forever. It's just good Shakespeare.
Yeah, I was watching this with the smile on my face, anticipating how it was going. Your dad looks tremendous. I mean, he looks like Popeye getting ready to put a hurt on Bluto after eating some
Yeah.
spinach right there too.
And the truth of it is, I told him, I said, Dad, man, if you don't want to do this, we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that. I'll tell him this. I'll tell him that. I'm trying to stand up for him. And he says, Brian, I've been doing this for 40 years. And I said, I know, but you're older now. And he said, I know my limitations, son. I'll be fine. And I was like, okay, I need to shut up. But you know what? My dad was always good at looking you right in the eye and telling you exactly what you needed to hear, but what he meant too. You know what I mean? He told you what you needed to hear, but in a way that wasn't cross. It was like I'd be doing push-ups before the match, and he'd be smoking a cigarette and say, "Don't leave it all back here." You know what I mean? It's just simple little things that look, I guess every dad has their little things.
Always teaching lessons.
Yeah, yeah, he was always teaching lessons, and yeah, this is great. See, Conan jerks back like, oh, he's getting a, and Dad's facials are good. Like, this is all, it was really good. Now, whether it was, really the bad stuff didn't start till later. Creatively, that is. You know what I mean? I was still in a mess personally during all this time.
Looking at your dad in this role, I can't just think of your brother Scott.
Oh yeah, he looks just like him, doesn't
I
he?
mean, oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah, we talk about that a lot. He looks.
And you talk about their physiques, your physiques, and the different genes in the family.
Which one of us is not like the other? But yeah, if you're watching this, Conan, man, he tries to jerk away, and Dad pulls him back. Oh, that's
What about
it's
absolutely
great stuff. Now watch the face. Watch the face.
Conan's talking smack, getting in his face a little bit, and no, he shakes it up. Well, oh, and that's it. The neck strain, the veins popping,
Oh my God, I love it.
and then
That's
comes
when-
Hernandez.
Yeah, here comes Hernandez.
Gotcha. There's the loaded sock, right?
Yep. The loaded sock. Conan, you son of a beast.
And then that second shot from Conan was just
Yeah.
a little bit rough right
Yeah,
there.
and Dad took a bump. 66 years old. I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right, a few weeks later, after that arm wrestling match at the Lockdown pay-per-view, there's a rematch between Conan and your dad. And I love you gotta love just hearing this, the rematch and the return program. All right, well, the loser is gonna have to be whipped. I think it's 10 whippings at that point, 10 lashes.
So there's an arm wrestling challenge, a rematch, and the loser gets 10 lashes with a belt. This is actually, these are times that I forgot because I think it's by design, but there's some good, like, this is a very good segment of professional wrestling. The promo, the mic work, the physicality, the everything.
Absolutely, the acting. Conan,
Yeah.
when he's coming in, his aggression towards the crowd, there's a riling of real emotion
Yeah.
from everyone involved.
Conan was so cool. I mean, he still is. He's so cool. Like, he's the Don, man. He just sits over there in the dressing room and they serve him. You know what I mean? Because he's the dude.
Back in 2001, he gave me my first "What's up" at XPW because I was wearing my Kango gear back then. He was like, "All right, all right."
Yeah. That's what we need to figure out, how to get some Kangos with like holes cut out where the
For the head.
Yeah. Yeah, because I love the Kango.
We're gonna get into this. Yeah, go ahead.
I just wish everybody go to YouTube and watch this stuff, because I think this is, look, while it wasn't the most positive time in my life or career, professionally, we did really well with it. Like we did really well. And I would, I don't know if I'd still be there if I hadn't got high in a production meeting. Yeah, don't do drugs, people. Let's go ahead and make that clear now. If you don't do them, don't start. And if you do, stop.
So
Arm wrestling, and Konnan's trying to, enough of my PSA, Konnan's trying to break the arm of the old man.
how much of a fan of Over the Top are you? Because
Oh, yeah. I love it. If
Little
Dad
thing-
had a hat
thing
on, he would
off-
have turned it around
little
backwards.
Bull Hurley action.
Oh, yeah.
Here we go. Your dad starts getting a little bit of control. He's putting the stretch on right now. I don't know.
Yeah.
And there's the final push.
There's the one.
And your dad gets the win. Celebrates with stoic sternness. Arm goes up, and then he gets the groove on. He's
Yeah.
bouncing.
Hey, you notice that Kegel's gym shirt is from a gym in Marietta. Dad, I don't think my dad ever went to a bar.
And then
what
here
was
you
it?
come, Karate Kid style.
Oh, yeah. Well, and here I am asking for a live mic because now it's on. You just gave me a live mic.
We have a little business to attend to. Something about whipping your asses.
Oh, Ryan.
Strap 'em, boys. Strap 'em.
Leather friend.
My leather friend.
Assume the position when you know it. It's like this. Assume the position and take your whipping like the three.
For those that don't know, Medusa was famous for launching the career of Ricky Martin.
Yeah.
And oh, look at this. And I don't see LAX offering themselves up.
And then everyone's like, "Who's Ricky Martin?" That's an old
Yeah.
reference.
You just keep on walking because you will be suspended indefinitely. Now assume the position.
I love that Konnan takes the threat of suspension seriously.
Yes, he does. He tells him, he's like, "Hey, bro, you got to do it, or they're going to suspend us."
In their native language.
I say just take the strap.
This is wrestling, man. This is wrestling, because I've said it before and I'll say it again and get heat for saying it. They're in a diamond wrestling. Everybody can do a hip toss and a drop kick. What do you do in between? What do you do to entertain the people? What do you do to have them emotionally invested in? And we got them doing that in this storyline. We got them interested in my dad. You know what I mean? Like, it was, it's just really cool to watch.
Absolutely. The crowd's fired up and into this. If you go watch, you'll see.
Yeah.
And here comes the first strike. All three.
Oh, we whipped them all.
Hernandez sells tough, and Homicide's great. Goes to take his own belt off.
Yeah.
I got good news. Just 9 more left.
And this leads to a comedic moment right here coming up. Getting ready to count.
Yeah.
One.
Bilingual BG James gonna lay in a number 2.
Man, that hurts.
What did he say? I was by what?
Bilingual. Well,
He's
Uno
not right.
dos tres.
He slipped that out of his shirt. Here we go, gentlemen. Uno, dos. This will be trade.
He slipped out.
We'll do it on 3.
Homicide selling was great.
Yeah.
Turn your ass around. 1, 2.
Homicide's great, and I just saw him this past week.
Here you go. You call Kip James Billy.
Yeah.
Billy.
Well, he's always been Billy Nilly to me. I don't know if you ever watched Tombstone, but Billy Nilly was, oh man, he was in, dang, I can't think of the dude's name, but he was in that movie, and it was Billy Nilly, and I always say, Billy Nilly, you're the prettiest man I ever saw.
Having so much history, so much time together, is it hard to get used to calling him by a different name on the shows?
100%. Yeah, it was just, look, I just call him Billy. That ain't his name. You know what I mean? That ain't. I just call him Billy, and I always have, and I always will. But for legal reasons, of course, on here we couldn't. So yeah, we whipped them all, and they powdered out of the out of the ring. But yeah, that was cool. It was so it was really cool and really scary for me to have my dad out there with me.